morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friends. Welcome, pre-market here at SpartanTrading.com. Wow. Wednesday morning. Welcome to those of you joining us on our live YouTube stream. This is what we do Monday through Friday. Every day the market's open, but it's earnings season. Very exciting. We got China, we got Netflix, we got ISRG, we got all kinds of stuff going on, right? Finally, I'm feeling better about the Chinese government getting their you-know-what out of the you-know-what and slowly doing shock and awe quantitative easing. I do believe they will also step up and buy the golden dragons. Okay, I think that's going to happen. We're seeing on the education side, those stuff. So I was starting to get things. I'm in yen. I posted yen. I know some of the people in the room following me on that trade. It's been a nice little winner, up 20% in 2 days. So why not? What the hell? No, why not? Right? But the reality is, and in the market, in our live room, okay, we've been talking about this, and there's no question about it. And look, I think this year it's going to be just a lot more than Mag 7, and the reason why I say that is it's still a function of earnings, right? If there's shock and awe, right, on the earnings side, and you do record subscriptions, whatever, you will get paid. And that's the way it should be in the way it is. Okay, I did trim a little bit of my Netflix this morning. How could I not? Winner, chicken dinner. And then, let's see, how it gets bought up. I do have some calls. I'll be selling those on the open as well. So we'll see. The selling would be profit taking. And clearly there's nothing wrong with that, right? So yeah, we'll see how things play out. Overnight, let's see what's on the macro side. Out of Australia, API crude was a big draw, right? Out of Australia, PMI flash 50, and that was better than expected. And then we basically have all over the place. Japan, manufacturing PMI better than expected as well, right? This morning, PMI, well, they don't forecast, so, right? And then Germany, manufacturing PMI. So across the board, we have PMI flashes coming out. France was lower, but Germany was high. European area was a little bit lower. UK, composite PMI, a little bit better than expected. Mexico, activity shrank, notable. Okay, US mortgages, 6.78, slightly higher. And then we have, we go from there. Right? Okay. All right, so we shall see what happens now. Okay. Yeah. Earnings. ASML, SAP. Right. These are not names that I'm in. Tesla's going to be interesting. IBM, I am in that one. I love this time of year, the quarter, right? So much fun. Come on. How can you not have fun on something like this? Right? So, anyways. Here you go. Some guiding up, guiding down, all the way around. Yeah. EDU raised. So these Chinese names are starting to move a bit. So we will see how things play out. Okay. Fun. I love it. Just how can you not have fun doing this? GD, General Dynamics, this is, we've been seeing some splits, right? Missing on the top, being on the bottom, or being, it's been interesting how this is playing out. But let's be honest, it's all about guidance. This is the past. Let's look at the present and the future, right? Obviously, the next set of earnings are going to be important, but so far, so good, right? Yeah, we'll see. Private sector downturn moderates, applications rise, factory orders weaker, China cuts out, by 50 basis points. The reserves are, look, finally, the central bank of China who is probably worse than our Fed. Well, they don't have a choice because whatever, but and we've talked about that elasticity theory. There comes a point in time which he fears for his life. Um, I, I, I shouldn't say that, but it's true. There comes a point in time when fear. Look, this is not how, no matter how you slice and dice it, from a socialist point of view, she is not a socialist. He's a businessman. Okay. He had shock and awe. That's all I have to say. Right. Well, it's the beginning. I don't know. I don't know if it's wherewithal, where be all, whatever, but it's the beginning. Right. Banks to reserve ratio, signals more trills. Of course, yeah. This actually was he was a replacement. Just so you know, the head of the central bank. He was not a chi guy. So that was kind of interesting, right? So, and then, can anyone, you know what? I agree with Twins on this. Whoever is doing quality control, whatever, on these Boeing planes, they should be who just fire everybody. Okay. This is incompetence. This is people not doing their job when wheels fall off and plugs come unplugged. I have no idea. Okay, how this happens. Unless there's, okay, so think about it. There's always quality control, right? And I actually know someone who does quality control for United Technologies on their jet side, engine side, okay? Oversight, quality control. Something's wrong here. This is all automated shit. Something is really, really, really wrong here when you have this sort of stuff happen. Whoever they're farming it out to, I don't know what they're doing, but fire them. Someone's responsible. Fire them. This is incompetence to a level that's just crazy. Netflix password crackdown fuels sign-up surge. Funny how that works, right? Subscriptions? I don't know. I would love to see a dip. I don't know if we're going to get a dip, but I'd love to see a dip. I have 600 calls for February I'm going to be getting out of, most of them. And I have 700 calls for December 2025. So those will be up. Look, anyways, have some stimulus. You better shock and awe, booby. Let's do it. There's more to come too. eBay is laying off 9% of its workforce. Okay, fine. Not any problem with that. Jet nose wheel fuel fell off before takeoff. Okay. Now, I guess the other question is maybe Delta not looking at this stuff. I mean, I see the pilot. The pilot comes out and looks all the way around. Maybe, I mean, who's looking at these? Is this at the level when a wheel falls off? Maybe Delta peeps? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. This is what happens in France when you, anyways, strikes, whatever. I don't know. Well, here you go, Donald Trump. No, she didn't do too bad, Nikki. What? I don't know. Whatever. To boost bank lending to prop up growth, you better believe that you better not stop either. So, Tex Mag 7 stocks are back on top. Yeah, but there's once again, and it is 2024 will be broadening. Okay, I bought some IWM, I added, I bought some TNA, I added. I mean, it just does not make sense to me, okay, that's not gonna rally. I don't know why, but I just, in my head, right? I said, seriously? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be like Snowflake, Palantir, stuff like that, PayPal. I don't know, but it will broaden out and we'll have more to choose. So I'm gonna look at, let's be honest, Spartan is brilliant at finding these ones. But for me and Twins and some of you, I mean, I'm looking from an investment point of view, okay, as opposed, look, there's two sides, right? This is a day trading room, but okay, right now, today I will probably I added to my yen. I will probably buy a little bit of yang. You know, right now it's like 0. I mean, it's like 9-1 yen against yang, right? So I might buy it. Look, this is just the poon thing to do, right? I got BABA, I got TDD, and I bought some TAL on the education side. I got some Fuchu. I mean, another one I'll be, doing is watching SE again. We'll see how that plays out, but lots to pick from. Plans new fees and restrictions for downloads outside App Store. Okay, here we go. Why not? Why not? I just have this feeling about Apple. I don't know why. I just have this feeling. I know it's not sexy, but I just, another smackdown. Credit card debt is up and it's taking longer to pay down. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, here we go, friends. For those of you who really want to know, here we go. That's what it looks like. Net change in number of Netflix subscriptions per quarter. It's funny what happens when you capture the Cheetos. I wouldn't say Cheetos, but look. I was shocked they let it go on for as many years as they let it go on, but what do I know? Okay, silver, we talked about this. I have no hedge on silver, FYI, right? So these are cycles. Commodities in particular are very, very power cycles. And this is a 77, okay, day bow. So this is no joke. And I think it's going to be right translated. So obviously, right? We do have a cycle coming in on the end of the month, notable, right? Bitcoin, basically the cycle low doesn't come in until March, so sloppy choppy there. TLT, we're getting into a cycle time, twins, just so you know. SPX, well, we talked about that. I love cycles. All right, so let's talk about this. Active investment manager exposure to stocks has notably pulled back earlier into this new year. Okay, so this is the fuel that drives these, and Twins articulated this. For those of you who are a little bit late, scroll up and watch and read what Twins said. Look, the reality is, okay, if you're not in it, will you feel that you have to be in it, right? What names will you say, okay, I'm going to hold my nose and I'm going to buy, right? That's it. What names will people say, okay, I feel comfortable, I guess the word is chasing. I guess that's the word, right? We'll see. Yeah, but you can see here, things are not as they appear to be, right? A lot of things you would think would be at extreme levels, and they're not. So this leads to that consolidation, bullish consolidation that Spartan is talking about. The reality is this is a momentum-based market on individual stocks. Indices are nice to watch and stuff like that, but okay, so when you get a Netflix, right, that's basically up 10%, and you have a SPY that's up whatever, okay, it is a stock picker's market. This has been the narrative for the last, in focal point for the last few years. And a lot of people are left behind through ETFs and indices unless they're leveraged or they're aggressive, right? I don't know. But this tells me people aren't as long as everybody thinks they are, right? If this is what this shows, right? Exposure index, January 2023, the 23rd of this month. That's the exposure index. Okay. Small cap stocks. I know, Tommy, I know. I got a little bit smacked around a bit, but I'm still standing, right? All right, Netflix, implied volatility had reached levels, we're not there yet, believe it or not. This is crazy. This is why I'm saying that, I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying that there's room to run. Macron has proposed regulating. Look, okay, that's what you're worried about, dude. You better worry about your job. Americans rate their financial situation as poor. That climbs to 42% for Republicans, 43% for women, 46% for rural residents, 47% and 57% for renters. Pay attention, okay? This matters. If 42% of Republicans think they're poor, okay, I don't know. And that's that wealth effect or lack thereof. I don't know. I don't know a lot of things. Hedge fund billionaire Bill Ackman and his wife, Neely, bought 5% stake in the Tel Aviv stock. God bless his little heart. That's all I have to say. Disgruntled employees cost U.S. companies an estimated $1.9 trillion in lost productivity to research. Fire their ass. I'm serious. It's all about productivity for me, and you know that, right? And I keep saying that. Productivity offsets a lot of things, okay? Fire their ass. If you don't, there are plenty other people who want to work, right? To step in. Fire their asses. This really ticks me off. It really ticks me off. Well, we remain vulnerable to late recession, according to Bloomberg. Okay, whatever. 10 stocks. All right, don't forget the NASDAQ rebalanced, right? The Qs rebalanced. The S&P did not. The ETFs did not. XLK, XLC, whatever. We'll see. I wish they would. All right, top down. No, Japan, nominal GDP. Money flows, right? I am in, so I want to see what was going to happen here with India overnight. See if that gets bought up. And I'm also watching Japan, right? Because a lot of money flows went into Japan from China, right? So the reality is, as you all know, it's for foreign direct investments, right? This is going to be months. I mean, you can't look at it overnight. I mean, 6 months, year, 2 years done. Okay. This, I believe, okay, this is the beginning. And once again, it's similar to COVID. It took Xi how many years with this lockdown stuff with COVID? Okay, finally, a year plus, you know, things are really, really bad when finally they're doing something, right? I don't know. What is it with these things? ESG fatigue. I know that twins will say this. What ESG what, right? PBSA, yeah, we know. NVIDIA versus Intel. There you go. Let it go. I love this stuff. That's super cool. Oh, how the mighty have fallen, right? Well, you know how this is going to end, right? It's the way to start just. Oh, boy. I had no idea, but anyways, you know how it ends. 277 billion. Okay, Intel versus, anyways, I don't like it. Nickel and lithium. This is, I mean, supply chain disruption. These are industrial metals, guys. They're not being produced. And you get these shutdowns. Yeah. Anyways. China's gold reserves has risen, we know. China says it may retest, whatever. Okay, so don't forget, 2024, BRICS will come up with their own currency. Like the EU, Eurodollar, hello? There's gonna be I don't know what they're gonna call it, but that's on the table for 2024. I think. Panama Canal south to north crossings. This is really fascinating. I had no idea. Cool. All right, what do we got? Well, AT&T. Tesla to launch new mass market okay. Boeing to pause work for quality standout. Yeah. Freeport, Abbott, Spotify. My Spotify calls, I'm really kind of happy about this. They're in the money. I got 2 10s. It's kind of pretty cool. Super cool. I guess I can say super cool. Anyways. And snow, my snow, it's snowing outside. Apple scales back, progressive, iceberg. I have no idea what the hell's going to happen. But super micro NVIDIA moment is here. There you go. It's still inexpensive. I mean, it's still really inexpensive. I know it sounds crazy and insane, but it's still pretty inexpensive. Here we go. I mentioned this. Oh, this isn't up to date. Come on. I mentioned that in the money snowflake. That's still bullish, guys. Palantir, whatever. Let's see. There you go. Amazon hedge into earnings. Gold, Disney, Meta hedge, right? Rio, GDX, right? Time to buy when they're hedging. TQQQ. I saw a lot of stocks buying also. Yeah, well, that's what it looks like. Snow, SPY, right? Tesla. So it was interesting because yesterday felt a little bit more like they were buying some hedges, but I'll be honest with you, this market is really not that hedged. And if it's really not that hedged, this is my thought process, and twins may disagree with me. If they're really not that hedged, okay, if they're not hedging, I don't think they have as much skin in the game as people think. And that kind of gets back to that chart of the NAIM, right? I just don't think, I don't know, just one of those things. I mean, because you would think they would be hedging hand over fist and they would be doing it through options. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Who knew? Most of the stuff tied to options. Salesforce, Pay, Tact, T-Mobile, not SRG. Everything else tied to options. What do we got? Let's see. Lots and lots. AMD, FHN, XP. Oh, Stoneco. I love this company. 32% Banco. Okay, Otavio, but he's a 72% stud. Underperformed and neutral. I mean, seriously. Sunoco, Squarespace, Webster Financial. I own stock in that. Go team. Not up, but anyways. Verizon, CrossFirst Bank. And then let's see the downgrades. We've seen a lot of downgrades more in valuation, right? Here's a sell, Netflix, buy to hold. Well, now that's valuation, right? BOTX is the sell. BOTX, 13%, Canaccord, 68%. Okay. In Tilly's, but higher price, buy to neutral. So like I said, a lot of these downgrades are more a function of valuation than anything else, right? Okay. And then here we go. And as always, thank you, Audra, for the posting you do on all these other things. Nicola, wow. Well, I mean, bad, but Ben, 71% to outperform. And Tesla's a sell from Redburn, but 32% success rate, friends. But people will follow. Quiet period, thank God. It's nice and quiet. This is all I care about, and I do it every day. And I say, okay, well, has there been a shift or not? Let's see what they're saying. Back down, right? June. 3 cuts. I don't see it. I keep saying I don't see it. I've been saying this for months. I feel like a broken record. I think I've been saying this for 2 years now. I mean, I keep saying, and it's like Twin says the same thing. It's the economy, stupid. There is nothing in the economy right now. When you have GDP forecasts going up, everybody is basically saying we're going into a recession. I mean, what's the definition? You know the definition of a recession, right? And the GDP now, Fed continues to, it's going up, not down, guys, friends. Just, I'm just saying, it's really frustrating for someone like myself because I just don't get it sometimes. Anyways, what do we got? Striker. I am in Striker. Okay. Entering seasonality. See what happens. Trend Striker. Just so you know. January, February. Looking good, feeling good. Republic Services. Oh, I don't know. Fortnite, Win, Palladium. I'm waiting for Apple. Apple will be in 2 weeks. FYI, for those of you keeping score. All right, let's see what's going on here. Fear and greed. So we're back up here. But this is why it's, I think it's going to catch a lot of people by surprise because everyone assumes just because you're at all-time highs, right? That everybody's loaded up on stuff. That's the assumption. Okay. And I guess the, where is it? Let's see. See what the survey says. 40%. Survey says we don't have the new one, but you can see it's coming down. I just don't think, I think it's just people aren't getting this right. Okay. This just, it's funny because I think it was last week or the week before. I said, Spartan, this is feeling like October. And he said, yeah. So anyways, all right. So here we have, these are the rankings, and you can see here, semi-SOX, XLC technology, right? Utilities and the, what? And we got technology, right? Utilities, energy, right? Financials. Energy is starting to enter strong seasonality. I'm just saying, for what it's worth, I'm just shouting it out there. Okay. That's all I'm doing. 10-year, whatever. And then you can see Nigeria, Thailand, Switzerland, India, and then United States, top dog. Corn is also entering strong seasonality. I just know these things. I just letting you know. All right, so let's take a peek here. All right, so we had the reset we were looking for, and it's still reset. The oscillator has reset. The summation was, some did, some didn't. But you can remember how we were red, 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 red. This is the deep, deep, deep red, right? Well, we're not there, okay? And you can see here, Europe definitely has room. And you can see overseas as well, obviously. We got, and that's why I kept saying, okay, in terms of elasticity, I mean, the optics was like 4, okay? You can't stay at 4 that long. It just doesn't work that way. You can stay overbought, don't pick tops. That's Keynesian theory 101. But on the other side, it's elasticity theory. There's only so much it can stretch. And you have to be patient, and you wait and you wait and you wait. Okay. And it's been really a fantastic trade for those of you who are in yin with me. I'm really proud of this trade. All right, what do we got? Bonds. Well, this is kind of interesting because this is the 20-year this is making lower highs. That's kind of interesting. I think we're going to have a rally, snap rally coming. Not sure what the catalyst is going to be, but anyways, high yield coming in and stuff like that. And here we go. This is, you can see, up to date with that. You can see Thailand, Bitcoin, 2-year, 3-day, right? 10-year, right? Like I say, we're due for a bounce on the bounce side, and we're getting a little bit of bounce today, right? And here you go, 10-year, right? And then here we go. That's what it looks like. This is a beautiful heat map, friends. I cannot speak enough about this, how beautiful, right? 100. Okay. So this construct, in terms of us being overbought, it's really not there because this would be a sea of red, right? across all the different time frames. So this consolidation we've seen for multiple weeks, months, is the fuel that will allow us to go higher. There we go, Russell. Here we go. See, SPX. There you go, and just like that, and just like that. So we had this, and that's why it's really interesting, because we had this selling going on at the beginning of the month, which is so unusual. So this is my thought. I think a lot of people said, oh, wow, we bought in October, right? I mean, let's take some profits here. We don't have to worry about on the tax side, right? Some capital gains. We'll have offsets on it by the end of the year. But this is the fascinating part about this. I don't think they're as long as people think. Oh, hold on a minute. My son is going to talk to me right now. Hey, son. You want to say hi to my friends? My son Sammy says hi. Okay, so there you go on that. And then the Dow. All right, so let's just take a walk on the wild side here. Not a good look for the Dow, right? SPX in February. Not bad the beginning of the month. You see the end of the month, middle end. NASDAQ once again, really strong, and then okay. So and the Russell. Well, what do we got to tell you? And then I keep coming back to this, and I look at this, and this is the problem I have right now. Okay, I just think that the past, this doesn't matter anymore. I mean, I'm just saying, it just doesn't matter anymore. This is the new paradigm shift, and we have to deal with this in terms of, PE multiples, because we see. I look at, all right, let's take a look at NVIDIA, right? The capacity for it to grow is stunning. So it had a high PE multiple, but then it gets these contracts, and now it's okay. All right, son, go. All right. Yeah, we've already done our daily affirmation. Okay, bye. Okay. Yeah, I know. No pucha madre. Anyways, so I just think that it's a stock picker's market, right? So when you look at, something like, a Taiwan semi, but you look at SMCI, you look at NVIDIA with these contracts and the AI capacity and how much they can grow, it's just stunning, right? I don't know. Anyways, that's my story, sticking to it. Okay, here we go. Things are still, inverting a little bit, but the range is in. I don't know if we break out of this range. Out of Canada's down, Europe's down, except for the UK, and obviously Asia Pacific is down, right? Let's go going here. 2.5. Like I say, nothing going on here, right? Here's the 510. Interesting. I think it's going to flag out, so I think it's going to continue to steepen there. So that's kind of cool. Here's a 3-month. I look at this, bounced, held, right? Really make high low. We want to see this. So this was the only thing that never confirmed, right? In terms of the inversion from the 1980s. And this is the one that I look at. Nobody seems to look at it, but I look at it. Hold on a second, guys. Okay. So yeah, so we'll see what happens with that, Let's take a look at new highs. not as much, right? These are the Chinese rates, obviously, and here's the German rates. I guess I should do, let's take a peek at the 10-year, right? That's my bellwether. Futures. We are reclaiming the 10 EMA in the weekly. Not bad, right? I think we flag out. I mean, I don't know, but I don't know what the catalyst is going to be on this one, Just but don't forget, once again, okay, everybody is loaded up in the front end of the curve. I mean, bills. Everybody. No matter who you hear, that's what they say. Well, let's see something. Here's the dollar, not much going on here. Here's the Chinese yuan, nothing going on here as well. Here's the cryptos bouncing a little bit, but really Ethereum taking to the woodshed, etc. Commodities, let's take a peek. Everything's green, green. Heating oil's down, gasoline's down. Like I said, I posted, for those of you, I added to the boil, so we're no longer, the ratio is now flat as opposed to long KOLD, 2 to 1. So now we're at break even on that one, just so you know, okay? Zinc, nickel, all of these, you know the drill on this. I think all of these industrial metals go higher. We got corn, we got soybeans, etc., cocoa, coffee, yada yada yada. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, I will continue to reiterate whether I think we've seen the low. I think 3% was just absolutely positively nirvana. I think 3.5%, that range right there in terms of this 2% narrative. I don't know. I mean, this sounds like a cheap moment with these central bankers with this 2%. It just makes absolutely no sense to me. DBA bouncing, the agricultural ETF is bouncing really hard, notable, right? I always have a piece in this one, DBC. Natty gas, you can see here, double bottom here in place on the monthly, notable. This is definitely very, very, very treacherous right now just because of the range, right? USO, UNG, you can see that USO. I don't know if we go anywhere with this with the crude, but my bias is that we have a meaningful low on crude. And like I say, I did buy a little bit, but we have to wait for the weekly confirmation, FYI, on some of this stuff. Okay, and basically reclamation here, we have a gap to fill. I know, but that's why I basically brought us to break even, equal weight on that one. Crude, once again, I think we go higher. XLE, strong seasonality starts now for the next 3 months, just so you know on that one. Here's OIH. My preference is Halliburton. It always is Halliburton. When I'm looking at, the OIH, I mean, it's just, that's the one I like to go to. And for those of you who've been in the room know that that's the case. And I've also been doing Gush, that as well. So that should make sense to everybody too. That, that's what I'm doing. So those are the ones I like to do. Okay. What else have we got going on here? Here's gold, still inside month. I think we've got another couple months, to be honest with you. I don't think we're going anywhere. Not that it's kind of dead money, but we'll see. Stocks, let's see. All right, small caps, let's see if it holds. This is what it looked like yesterday morning, and then, well, you know what happened with that. Let's see if it actually can hold and then move forward with that, okay? DAX is up really nicely. CAC overseas is up really nicely. Obviously, China up. Hang Seng's up, right? Nifty, whatever. Okay.
One more.
DAX, as you can see, let's see if we can take it out. I held the pivot point, go from there. All right, and then FTSE. All right. All right, and then we go from there. And here you see the FES on the inside candle there, EFA. Well, anyways. So here's the EFI, IWM, you know the drill here, right? This is actually bullish. We don't want we want small caps. We want the IWM to be our leader. Period, exclamation point. That's the story, morning glory. look at this. Okay, so fascinating, right? This is the monthly, this is a QQQ spread. We had a crazy extension off of the Bollinger. Okay. Now, the reason why I point this out to you right now is this comes back. I mean, it comes back. So if we're looking at this, okay, from here to back into the Bollinger, which is right about there. Okay, that's a 15% outperformance of China versus the Qs. Okay, so and you can see here. Now, it may take a month or whatever, but it will come back in. Or it just consolidates up here, but more than likely we'll get a candle, and we're starting to get that candle already. All right, so that's pretty notable. All right. I guess we have to do it, right? Netflix. Let's do it. Ta-da! Okay, so believe it or not, we haven't gotten to the 78.6% fib on the Netflix. Yeah. Yeah. 580, 580, believe it or not. So let's see what happens. I think it's holding up fantabulous. Like I say, I think the only selling will be profit taking on this stock. I mean, I don't see how we don't get to all-time highs, but what am I going to tell you? I mean, that's pretty much all I can tell you right now, right? Anyways, Netflix, Disney. Boop. Breaking out, next like upcoming. Now there's an extension. Look, this is a no-brainer, right? I mean, where do you want to put your money? Netflix, Roku. This is actually
already, Beth, ready to pop on here.
okay.
Alrighty, guys, morning. What's going on? Let me just pop up the screen share, get right into it. So if you guys are new to chat and never done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. You're going to pop in a chat. It's going to look something a little bit like this. First area to go to when you guys do come in, click on that disclaimer section, give it a read, as well as go to the new to chat information section, scroll to the very, very top. Top of the section, you got a link to the disclaimer, as well as this bolded risk reward section right below. Super important to understand what that risk reward is, guys, before you actually start trading. So definitely go through that section first. Use the calculator, use the risk reward profiles, figure all that stuff out before you actually start going here. Continue to scroll down. We have the summary of how the chat works, breaks down all the channels work on the left-hand side, so you can probably navigate the chat through the day. Important so you know where to be looking. Below this, we have the options rules. So we have the how to read alerts on the options and equity side, breaking down how to read alerts on both sides. Pretty straightforward in that regard. Below this, options rules that we like to use every single day in regards to the options ideas. Continue to scroll down. We have the SPX rules that we use every single day. Below this, any with a small account less than 10K breaking down. If you have a smaller account less than 10K, so rules, information, discipline you can put in place. You can better manage your account, how to pick ideas from an options or equity perspective, and lastly, high conviction small account trades posted in that area when they do make sense. Let's take a look at what we got going on today, guys. So a lot of different earnings plays. Pre-market tickers on watch. Tesla, Netflix, ASML, SAP, EDU, and Kura. Tesla gapping up and simply the market. Netflix, ASML gapping up on earnings. SAP gapping up on earnings. Also to restructure 8,000 jobs to push towards AI. Gapping up. EDU gapping up on positive earnings. And then Kura, $150 million private placement, 1.37 million shares plus warrants at $17.25 a share as well. So let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint intraday. First two we're looking at today, guys, Tesla and Netflix. All right, guys, so Tesla, a little bit of a gap up there. Let's just take a look at where we got room to today. $212.39 pivot level holds, 216.33 to 220.72. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback towards 206.65 to 202.05 on the downside. Going to be leaning bullish, looking for a continuation push to the upside today if that pivot point is able to hold. That's going to be the key there on Tesla. Let's take a look at Netflix. I have so many like weird resistance levels up here, but certainly get rid of all of them. I think that should suffice. Let's take a look at this thing on Netflix. Okay. Pivot to the upside today, 534.84 level holds. 545.21, 560.64, unable to hold 526.28 to 515.20 on the downside. Overall, going to be leaning bullish, looking for a continuation push higher today if that pivot point is able to hold. So that's Netflix, that is Tesla. Let's take a screenshot of these two. Let's move on to the next. All right, let's take a look at SAP and EDU.
I'm sorry, but we have ASML and SAP.
That's right. ASML and SAP. Throw that SAP over here. So okay, so this ASML pivot to the upside today, going to be 819.04 level holds, 833.46, 845.99. Unable to hold 805.56 to 793.50 on the downside. Going to be leaning bullish, looking for a continuation push higher today if that pivot point is able to hold. That is ASML, SAP. Let's take a look at this. I'm not going to do a Fibonacci. Oh. Okay. Pivot to the upside, 173.95. Level holds 178.27 to 183.11. Unable to hold 169.52 to 165.54. Downside leaning bullish on that name. That's ASML. That is SAP. So obviously a couple Fibonacci levels to the upside. It's got room to. Let's take a look at EDU. Let's take a look at Kura. Pivot 79.29. Level holds 80.79. 82.46. Unable to hold 77.88 to 76.04 on the downside. You're going to be leaning on the bullish neutral side there as well, looking for a continuation push higher. I like a lot of these earnings plays are going to be continuation pushes out the gate, guys. Just an FYI. Let's take a look at Kura. Okay. Pivot 1767 level holds 1905, 2013, unable to hold 1646 to 1523. I'd be looking for a little bit of a pullback out the gate back towards this pivot point area, in my opinion. So if I get a little bit of a pop, I look for a pop and a pullback into that pivot area. And yeah, I'll be leaning on the bearish neutral side there. So that's EDU. That is correct. Let's take a look at the SPY and the FANG. All right, guys, market, what's going on here? So market, a little bit of a gap up, looking great. Obviously, big breakout there. Let's get that little next couple levels on the Fibonacci side. I guess we don't need to go. All right, pivot to the upside today. 47.90 level holds 49.40, 490.82. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback towards 46.65 or 85, sorry, to 45.31. Yeah, we're extended to the upside on the daily. We'll see what happens with the market. I'm going to be leaning on the bullish side out the gate and looking for a little bit of a pullback after that morning move. That is the SPY. Let's take a look at Apple. So a little extended to the upside as well, but nice, obviously little gap up there. 195.82 pivot level holds 197.76. That level breaks 199.77. Unable to hold 193.98 to the 192.33 on the downside, at leaning bullish out the gate as well. And then looking for some topping. Let's take a look at Amazon, which I do like Amazon quite a bit. Beautiful chart into the end of the day yesterday. Very strong. 157.34 is going to be the pivot to the upside today. Level holds 158.93 to 160.50. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback towards 155.93 to 154.24 on the downside, leaning bullish on Amazon, looking for a continuation push higher. And it should get a little sympathy with Netflix because of the Prime, obviously. Netflix already done. Let's take a look at Meta. Okay, pivot 390.47 level holds 393.55. Unable to hold 385.45 on the downside, leaning bullish neutral. And that's Meta. Let's take a look at Google, and then I'll pass it over to South Beach. $148.43 level holds. 150.05, unable to hold 147.15, 145.74 downside, leaning bullish, looking for a continuation push higher if that pivot point is able to hold. And that is Google. So I'm going to go ahead and pass over to South Beach, guys. I'm going to type up the pre-market action plan. We'll do a quick little recap before the open, and I'll talk to you shortly. South Beach, if you're ready, it's all yours for now, my friend.
Hey guys. Okay, hump day, right? All right. Let's see. Go through what we do every morning, right? We look at how the setup is, and clearly the S&P is breaking out. Okay, all-time highs, no real resistance. And so what I do in a situation like that is I look at an oscillator for overbought, oversold. The oscillator, believe it or not, is a -11. So we're nowhere near to that level, right? You know, looking for a oversold situation. Are we extended? Yeah, probably are. But look, the bottom line, I'll stick to my guns. You know, there's a couple of dozen, maybe 3 dozen stocks, and by and large, the rest of these stocks are kind of moving in place. But the weightings in the S&P, the way it is, it's market cap weighted. You know, if you short S&Ps, you're really shorting these top stocks. Keep that in mind. If you're looking at the market and it seems like, you know, laboring a little bit, and you want to short S&Ps, you better look at those, you know, 7 or 8 stocks, because if they're not, you know, you're going to be wearing those S&Ps right in your keister. So, you know, not a whole lot of stocks participating in a real way, except a few. But that being said, the S&P looks great. So I would say those few look like they're going higher. Q's, basically it's the same story, right? And it's basically the same stocks. All right. So NASDAQ breaking out also. No real resistance. You know, doesn't look terribly overbought. And you know what? Let's look at something which I haven't looked at in a while, just not for giggles. It just came into my head. That fear greed index. I know Beth looks at that also. See where that's is this morning. It's at 73, so it's not extreme. Anything over 75 is extreme. So, all right. And so the S&Ps and Q set up nicely on the long side. Russell, you know, at the end of the day, it goes up, it goes down. It's a whole lot of nothing really since in the last 2 years. So that's the Russell, and it continues that way. Does it look like it's going higher? It's got EMA support, and if you put a gun to my head, I'd say higher, but it really has been a tough bet. You know, the only way you're making money truly is these tech names. Transport's basically the same. This thing hasn't moved since, God, 3 years. So you see where the money is, right? I mean, that's pretty clear. And that's that. Okay, so now let's move on to the bond market. All right, see what's doing there. We see bonds a little lower this morning, especially on the out years, you know, the long end of the curve. So we got the 10-year down to 4.09. It was trading below like 380-ish, went up. So it's, you know, these rates, you know, will go probably lower, but I don't think meaningfully from here. I really don't. I think inflation is going to be running 2%, and you need a return of something, right? So let's say even 1% or 1.5%. So where bonds going to trade at the 3.5, something like that. So you got room, but it's not like, you know, that's not going. And those rates historically, guys, are on the lower side. Just FYI, the 2 10-year spread is 21, so that's the low end of what we've seen. Rates in Britain are a little changed. Basically flat. Okay, the 1 year's down a bunch, but that's about it for some reason. I don't know what the story is there. And rates in Germany, you know, pretty down slightly across the board in the whole Eurozone. Okay, so that's the rate market. Let's look at commodities. So we have oil up a little bit, right in the middle of that trading range, 70-80. It's at 75. Natural gas, 257 is a waste of time. So gold is inching up, which leads me to believe that dollar is going to be weak in a second. Copper, nothing doing there, but you saw FCX's earnings. I love that stock. I really do, guys. I mean, I think you'll turn around one day and it'll be, you know, a lot higher than this. Let's put it that way. They haven't been mining for copper, and if the economy ever gets going, you know, this thing should rep. Anyway, agriculture commodities, nothing doing there. Currencies, dollars down against North America, down against the yen, down against the Chinese currency, and down a little bit against the euro. It's not that much, but it's down against everything. Okay, crypto. We got crypto up 2%. Dollar weakness, good for crypto. Ethereum up 1%, Solana up 5%, and foreign markets. What do we have there? This British market's up 0.4. That's been really crappy, actually. The DAX is up 1.5%, led by Siemens Energy up 7%. What else we got? We got Nikkei down 0.8. We got China up 1 and Hong Kong up 3.5. So China's really trying really hard to paint a picture like people should invest in China and they're going to get the economy going. And I don't think he could stand on his head and spit wooden nickels. I don't think companies are going to invest in China anytime soon. You want to invest in the third world country, try India, Vietnam, whatever. Anybody goes to China needs to have their head examined. And that's the backdrop. Okay. Banks and Fed, we're in a quiet period. So we'll hear something soon. And we have two bigger numbers coming out this week. We have fourth quarter GDP tomorrow. And we have the PCE index coming out on Friday. So that might move stocks a little bit. We'll see. It'll help the Fed make its decision. Right now, I think it's 98-2, 98% saying no change, 2% thinking they're going to cut. I'd be really shocked if they did. There would have to be something that came from left field, in my opinion. China and Russia will discuss in a minute. Crypto, we did. Mr. Market yesterday, more of the same, guys, tech, 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 that's what it is. Everything else is shit. So you got FANGs were good. You got, let's see, high PE tech was good. You had retail was good. Not retail, airlines were good. Consumer non-durables were good, not retail. And on the short side, you had hospitals were on the weaker side. And I think home builders had a shit day also. That unless that was the day before. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. These home builders were crappy too. All right, so that's the backdrop. And what's working? Tech, period. Capital letters and exclamation points. That's where it's at. All right, so that's that one. Let's see what else we got today. We had Howard Marks on TV. Anybody know who he is? You younger guys, he writes this letter. You should subscribe. You can subscribe, go to, what is his name? It's oaktree.com. And you can see the letter and you can get it every time it comes. The guy's really fabulous investor. He's more of a distressed guy, but he has a pretty good handle on things. So he was interviewed yesterday. I'll just tell you what he's saying. Okay, he gave his forecast for 24. So he says this ultra low rate environment is now over. We're moving to a more normal. Moving towards a more normal. Rates now are on the lower side of history. Okay, he thinks that rates will go to, so this whole zero interest rates for the last 2 years, they kept rates artificially low. That's not happening. He thinks rates will trade at the 3 to 3.5% rate, okay, range. That Fed funds rate will be 3 to 3.5. Now it's like what, 5.5 or something like that. But it's embedded in the market that there's going to be a big cuts already. So, he thinks we have a little bit of room, but not a whole lot. Okay, so now it's 5.5. He thinks it goes to 3.5. He says the neutral rate right now is around 3%, and inflation will stay higher for many years to come because of the this globalization push is over, and in some cases it's reversing. He feels the market currently is valued in the range of normal. So it's not overpriced in his opinion, it's not underpriced. And for a guy like him, who's really a distressed investor, there's not a whole lot to do. So that's how he sees it, okay? So a new paradigm for rates, okay? The old paradigm of artificially low rates is over. And we had that situation for 13 years. And now we're moving towards the other side, okay, which is normalization of rates. And he thinks the market is fairly valued. So that's his take. All right. And that's Howard Marks. And he's a very pragmatic, cerebral guy. And that's that. All right. Then you had the Trump Haley battle in, where was it? New Hampshire. Trump won 54-43. Is that a knockout blow? I have no idea. It doesn't sound like a knockout blow. But look, there's a lot of, one thing I've learned in US politics is, you can get things coming from left field all the time. So who knows what's going to happen? Right now, it looks like Trump, and on the other side, I don't know what's going to happen. But I know Biden has the lowest approval rating in history. And funny enough, the vice president, whatever her name is, I can't even remember her name. That's how insignificant she is. She has the lowest rating of any vice president of all time. So who's going to win? I have no clue. JP Morgan, those wishing for an aggressive rate cut environment will be disappointed. So they're kind of in the camp of Howard Marks. eBay is doing a restructuring. They're going to lay off 1,000 jobs. Royal Caribbean just launched a new mega ship where they can charge 40% more for tickets. It holds 5,600 passengers, 2,300 crew. I actually saw them launching it last night. I was driving over the bridge into Miami, and there was all kinds of fireworks and stuff. And actually, my buddy was on that cruise guy was on a cruise this weekend, but I didn't speak to him yet. But it looks amazing, and that's a shot in the arm for these guys at Royal Caribbean. All right, Israel Hamas deal. They're trying to work out something where there's a pause for hostage release. We'll see if that happens. Who knows? Russia's claiming that Ukraine shot down a Russian plane that had 65 Ukrainian POWs on it. Who knows if that's propaganda or not? Spotify will begin app sales on the iPhone because of a law change in Europe. FAA chief vows to have boots on the ground at Boeing facilities until they get their shit together, okay, for quality control. So yesterday, a wheel fell off a Delta plane in Atlanta, and then after the close, Alaska Air came out and said they are finding a lot of loose bolts on planes. So a quality control issue, a management issue, and I don't understand the Boeing board as to why they're still there. Well, SPR now is really run by Boeing because they put their new guy in charge, and I agree with what Twins is saying. They have a quality control problem too, and they should be in their plants just as well. Okay, there's a real problem. Okay, and these guys really need to come to grips with it. That being said, guys, Boeing will come out of this. I don't know if 209 is the low price. I don't know if it's 200. I don't know if it's 180. But one of these days, you're going to look and this Boeing's going to have a 3 or 4 in front of it. Okay, because it's an oligopoly. They can't miss. You know what I mean? And the demand is like crazy. So, think of it that way. All right. If you ever wanted to buy Boeing, you don't get a whole lot of chances to buy great companies on the cheap because everybody in there is fucking things up. And this is the case in Boeing. It's a disgrace. Spirit is no better. But both of these stocks will probably go up. Boeing's more of a sure thing because Boeing can take business away from Spirit if they can find someone who else can do it. But we'll see how that goes down. All right. You had the Netflix earning. They added 13 million subscribers. They are wiping the decks with all their competitors, whether it's Disney or Paramount or Warner Brothers, you name it. They are just the king of the hill. All right. Bill Ackman bought a 5% stake in the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange on a secondary offering. This Klarna, which is a competitor to Affirm and Upstart, they are talking about going public. On the earnings front, you had DuPont. I'm a little concerned how these cyclicals are coming out of the gate. You had Triple M, terrible. You have DuPont, terrible. GE, it was down, 5 pre-opening, and they tended to come back after, during the day. But beware of these cyclical stocks. There's something not right in Mudville, and they act like shit. And that's the story with that. Okay, earnings wise, so you have ASML. had good numbers. They had what, a 30% surge in full year revenues, and they have pin action with other semiconductor equipment stocks you see that are up this morning. You got AMAT and CLAC and LRCX all rallying on the ASML news. I have 850 calls that I bought, and who knows? Look, we saw SMCI rip, so maybe I'll get lucky. Who knows? I did an 850, 880 call spread for like $50, I think. So that's fine. FCX numbers were in. This ELV came out, did really well. This is the old, what is it called? Anthem. And that's putting a fire under some of these HMOs. We had Humana that wasn't good, and now this one was good. So these stocks are rallying. This LRN had good numbers. TEL and Textron. LRN is what? This is the Chinese education stock, isn't it? Or am I incorrect here? Let me just make sure. No, it's not. Okay. Technology-based education based in Virginia. Okay, this one, LRN had good numbers. TEL and Textron. WBA is considering selling their Shields Health division for $4 billion plus. AMD got an upgrade from New Street. GETR got financing, 20 million, as did SPRC, same amount. Cura did a secondary. Well, you don't see this very often. You know, like $4 higher than the, I think they did $17 or something like that. I think it came at 17 and a quarter. So that's telling you something, huh? 150 million. Talk about mispriced, right? The street was mispricing this stock for sure. NXU got a patent on EV chargers. EVAX got a 13G out of Merck. I'm told this was previously agreed to. This is nothing new, but maybe my guy's wrong. VSME got a 13G from Warner Brothers Discovery. FHN is doing a buyback of 640 million. On the negative side, you have this DuPont, which I mentioned. You may get some pin action in something like Dow Chemical. Kimberly-Clark was crummy, consumer non-durable name, so they may get pin action in Procter and Colgate and stuff like that. Texas Instruments was a little soft. You're seeing a downdrift in what, ADI and MCHP on that one. Abbott was soft. Telephone continues to be dog shit. BKR missed after the other one, Slob, did well, so that's that one. And Steel Dynamics missed as well. BB is doing a convert. Texas Instruments, we discussed. THTX had some negative PR, and that'd be it. Market-wise, I think, you just, tech is the place to be, right? So keep an eye on tech. Everything else is kind of sort of a waste of time. All right, they go up, they go down, but these things are just in the bull mode. And SciTech was downgraded, just FYI. I thought that was significant. Uber was downgraded based on price. Anything that I liked. A bunch of guys like Halliburton. So if this comes in a little bit on the BKR, maybe you grab some. Netflix is the obvious, and a couple of guys like UAL, they raised the targets. That's about it. All right, so I'm going to be watching tech like all you guys and see what happens with that. All right, that's it from me. Spartan, it's all yours.
All right, thank you, South Beach. Guys, morning. What's up? What's going on? So, if you guys are new to chat, never done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. Pop in a chat, look something a little bit like this. First area to go to when you guys do come in, click on that disclaimer section, give it a read, as well as go to the new to chat information section, scroll to the very, very top. Top of the section, a link to the disclaimer as well as this boulder risk reward section. Super important to understand both in regards to risk reward, guys. Most important ratio in trading, so definitely worth checking out in that regard. Continue to scroll down. We have the summary of how this chat works, breaks down all the channels, work on the left-hand side, so you can probably navigate the chat throughout the day. Importance you know to be looking. Continue to scroll down. We have the how to read alerts on the options and equity side, breaking down how to read alerts on both sides. Pretty straightforward in that regard. Continue to scroll down. Options rules that we use Monday to Thursday in regards to controlling risk, scaling in, scaling out, trading different price contracts, etc., etc. SPX rules right below that. Continue to scroll down. We have the any with a small account less than 10K breaking down. If you do have a smaller account less than 10K, there's rules, information, discipline you can put in place so you could better manage your account, how to pick ideas from an options or equity perspective below that. And lastly, high conviction small account trades posted in that area when they do make sense. Let's take a look what we got going on today, guys. Pre-market tickers on watch. Everything's posted. So if you guys are watching that YouTube stream, you can simply just pause it and read this, read that, this as well. And then let's take a look at what we got going on. So Tesla, Netflix, ASML, SAP, EDU, Cura, what we're looking at this morning. Tesla gapping up through the market. Netflix, ASML, and SAP all gapping up on earnings. SAP also to restructure 8,000 jobs and push towards AI. EDU gapping up on earnings. And then Cura, $150 million private placement, 1.37 shares plus warrants, 17.25 a share. Let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint intraday. First two we're looking at today, guys. Tesla, Netflix. Let's have a look. Tesla 212.39 pivot level holds 216.33 to 220.72. Unable to hold 206.65 to 202.05 on the downside. Leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push higher today if the pivot point's able to hold. Let's take a look at Netflix, guys. Pivot to the upside today. 534.84 level holds 545.21 to 560.64. Unable to hold 526.28 to 515.20 on the downside. Going to be leaning bullish, looking for a continuation push higher there as well for continuation to the upside. All right. Let's take a look at the next two. ASML and SAP. ASML 819.04 pivot level holds 833.46 to 845.99. Unable to hit, unable to hold AL5 56 to 793.50 on the downside, leading bullish neutral. Looking for a continuation push higher. SAP 173.95 pivot level holds 178.27 to 183.11. Unable to hold 169.52 to 165.54 on the downside, leading bullish neutral there. Let's take a look at EDU and let's take a look at Cura. EDU 79.29 pivot level holds 80.79, 82.46. Above that, 84.07, unable to hold 77.88 to 76.04 on the downside. And then the last but not least, guys, Cura 17.67, 19.08, 2013, unable to hold 16.46 to 15.23 on the downside, leaning bullish neutral. Let's take a look at the SPY and the FANG. All right, so SPY. Let's see what we got here today, guys. SPY 47.90 pivot on the upside today. In my opinion, this level holds. Room higher into the let me just fix that. Room higher into the 489.40 resistance breaks. We see the 490.82 tested. Pivot unable to hold. Room lower into the 486 85 to the 485.31 on the downside. And obviously going to be leaning bullish neutral. That is the SPY. Let's take a look at the rest of the thing here. Apple, guys, pivot to the upside. I'm going to go to the daily on these, just a little bit easier to see what's going on. So Apple 180 or 195.82 pivot level holds. So we got room for a continuation towards 197.88 to 199.77. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback to 193.98 to 192.33 on the downside. Going to be leaning bullish neutral, looking for a continuation push higher if that pivot point is able to hold. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the thing here. I'm just posting this SPY, guys. One sec. There and right here. Perfect. Let's take a look at the rest of the thing. Amazon. 157.34 pivot, level holds 158.93 to 160.50. Unable to hold 155.79 to 154.24 downside. Leaning bullish neutral. Let's take a look at Netflix. 534.84. I'm going to go to the, oh, we already did Netflix anyways. This morning, Meta 390.47 pivot, level holds 393.55, unable to hold 385.45 to 381.59 on the downside, leaning bullish neutral there. And then last but not least, Google pivot 148.43, level holds 150.05 to 151.65, unable to hold 147.15 to 145.74 downside, leaning bullish neutral. Let's take a look at the VIX, Qs, and IWM. So VIX pivot, guys, 12.37, level holds 12.90, 9 to 13.39, unable to hold 11.86 to 11.01 on the downside. QQQs. 424.53 pivot, level holds 426.24, 429.40, unable to hold 421.33 to 417.93 downside, leaning bullish neutral there as well. Then SPX, last but not least, 47.77, 77, level holds 490.06 or 49.06 to 49.35, unable to hold 48.45, 48.01 downside, leaning bullish neutral there. So that's a SPY, that's a FANG. Those are the individual names that we're looking at today, guys. Going to go ahead and shut down the YouTube stream. Thanks for popping in. We do this every single Wednesday, so feel free to join us next Wednesday or join us in chat for the rest of the day. Alrighty, guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna reload some stuff up. Good. I think that's okay. Okay, so that's that. Just doing something real quick on the side here.